Okay, just give me a sec, everybody. Just getting started. Okay. All right. Just gonna get started in a few minutes, everybody. I'm getting there. Hang in there with me. Okay. All right, just gonna wait for a few more people because I said 9:30. So everybody, if we just hang out for a few minutes, then I'll get started. Please feel free to comment. We have audience topics tonight, and those audience topics are, of course, the audience topics tonight are: what movies inspire you, and what are the got a spider next to me. And what are the best heroic movie characters? I kind of want to touch down on different things like that. I want to have a positive show. Hi, Christy. Thanks for joining in. Just taking a few seconds to get started. Waiting for everybody to join in because I just said 9:30. All right. Let me check. Sure YouTube is working. Looks like it is. Okay. All right. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast Live. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, Scene Snob. I'm a little, if you notice, my introduction is a little less enthusiastic, and that's because it's kind of a little bit of a somber start to this episode. And there's a few things I want to address. I've been kind of working on it all day, writing out certain things and things I think, and with everything going on in the country right now. It's been a tumultuous week or so, and it's just been really tough. It's been really tough to see what's going through. I would just like to say justice for George and Black Lives Matter. And the reason I want to start this off is I've been thinking about things a lot lately, and kind of thinking about the word privilege and what that means and what white privilege means, and that I have it. It's a very hard hit to the ego for any white person, I think, to start believing they have some sort of white privilege, when in reality, when you truly sit down and you think about it, we absolutely do. And when you think about the word privilege and the privileges that we have, and in a whole, as Americans or as humans or anything else, I think we tend to forget that privilege means that we have responsibility. And when things happen and George Floyd was murdered, I watched that video. I sat down and I watched the video in a news broadcast, and my 3-year-old son was in the room, and I wasn't thinking about it. You know, I just was watching the news. And I had heard about this tragedy that happened with Mr. Floyd, and I didn't want to watch the video, but I realized, I was like, I need to. This is something I need to see. Because you can never formulate an opinion, in my opinion, you can never formulate an opinion without knowing and seeing and reading and understanding all of the facts first. And so I sat and I watched this video, all 10 minutes of it. And I equate a lot of things to movies. Movies were my way to kind of connect. and kind of understand things. And one thing that I kind of equated this to, just in the length of the horrific acts that was happening, was there was this movie called Irreversible. It's a foreign film starring Monica Bellucci, and we watched it when I was in film school. And there is a scene in it, it's a rape scene, where her character, it's a still camera shot for 11 minutes of her character being raped, and it is a very hard thing to watch. You are intensely screaming because you just want to help this woman, and it's a movie. And the reason I equate that is because it elicited feelings when you watch this movie. And just as when you see real life, it should elicit the same feelings going through these things and these experiences. And watching the George Floyd video, it was the same reaction. It was just pain and fear and anger and so much more, because this is a human being with a knee on his neck. And I'm sitting there thinking, if there was a knee on my neck, even for half that time, I don't know if I could handle it. Not even just handle it, but like mentally, like I don't even know how in the beginning he was as calm as he was. Like I don't know what I could do. I'm trying to understand it. And I watched that cop's face, and I watched that whole video. And when the video was over, the newscaster came back on and was talking, and my son stood up. And I wasn't even thinking about him being in the room, and he stood up, and he's 3 years old, and he says, "Put your hand on my neck." And I'm frozen. I didn't know what to do. And I said, "What?" And he goes, "Put your hand on my neck." And he had like a smile to his face. And I tears start coming out of my eyes, and I'm scared, and now what does this mean? What did he just see? What is he taking from this? And then I come over and I pull him over and I start to talk to him, and I'm like, "Why would you say that? And, you can get hurt if somebody puts their hand on your neck. That man died. That cop shouldn't have done that. That police officer was evil in not doing something about it, or taking his knee off his neck." And I had to explain this to my 3-year-old and go over it all. And I was heartbroken to have to do that, to explain what evil is. And when I explained, like, that man is evil, what that man did, he's seeing a badge, he's seeing a police officer, and he watches Paw Patrol and chases a police officer. And he even asked, he said, "But he's like Chase, he has a badge." And I was heartbroken because his uncles are police officers. His cartoon characters, are police officers. And for my 3-year-old to say that and not to understand, and I have to make him understand, that devastated me. And then I went and I started growing more and more angry at the situation and what was happening, and seeing another black man die. It's in the news all the time, and it's devastating every time, and it's frustrating. And if I'm frustrated as a white man, how are black people supposed to think? What are they supposed to think? How are they supposed to feel? I needed to come to terms and understand that frustration more, I thought. And I have one of my best friends in the world is a black man. His name is Derek. I've known him 20 years. You might have seen he's a music writer and producer. I interviewed him on this show. You can go back, check it out. He's one of the best people in the world I've ever met. And he's like a brother to me. In a world where I have a lot of family members that I'm not close with and I view as nasty or mean people, he's always been a good one that's had my back through thick and thin. And I went to him, and I had to say to him, I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to think. And he put a lot into perspective for me. We talked for a long time, and more so I just listened. because I needed to listen. And you always hear about, black people telling you that they have to have their talk with their kids and their parents have to have it with them. And when white people hear it, the talk is sex, don't do drugs, those things. And for black people, it's how to talk to police officers, how to go out in public and not get killed, how to survive. And every black person I've ever known has a story that they know of somebody in their family or a friend or something that has gone through this. That's insanity. And the fact that I was devastated that I had to talk to my son, I had to bring him at 3 years old into some reality of what evil is. And black people have to do it all the time. It's a necessity that they have to do it. So, I had kicked around the idea for a while of whether I wanted to say anything on my platform of the Scene Snobs. I do realize that, this may cost me likes, this may cost me followers, listeners, things like that. And I had to think about that. And I realized fairly quickly, but I realized doing what's right is more important than anything else. If this site completely fails and it never goes anywhere, and I don't reach my goal with it, if I did what's right, I will not have a regret. And I do believe that I'm doing what's right. I do believe that ignoring this and what's going on and what I saw yesterday with peaceful protesters being tear gassed by federal agents, the federal agents who are here to protect us, to see them tear gassed just so that way the president could have a photo op. Now, you can love him. You can vote for him. I could scream my head off all day of all the reasons I don't think that you should, but that won't get us anywhere. Screaming at each other, fighting with each other, it does not get us anywhere, but there needs to be change. There needs to be talking. We need to get to a better future for everybody. And me trying to understand my white privilege means that I have to understand my responsibilities in this world to my children. How am I going to be a better father? How am I going to make them better men who are also standing against racism and standing against anti-Semitism and all types of discrimination of every color, standing against kids being in cages ripped from their parents? You can say whatever you will, but treating any human less than human is wrong. And I wanted to start the show off by talking about this, and I wanted to state how I feel, and that I'm going to support, I'm going to donate, I'm going to sign the petitions. I will post the links on the show, and I hope you do too. We need to come to an understanding that we need to get to a place where we can all coexist equally without black families having to have the talk with their kids. And that starts, we're a generation that's probably not going to fix that, but the only way we can, we're a generation that can fix that. We're the generation that may not see it or live in it, but our kids can, and that's what we need to be doing. We need to be having these conversations, we need to be talking, we need to be listening more than anything else. And if hate or dominance or violence or anything else is what you think needs to happen to stop what's going on, then I feel bad for you. Like I said, I have two brothers who are police officers. I'm very worried about them with riots going on. I don't blame black people. I don't blame the protesters out there. And I can fear for police officers, my friends, my brothers, along the way. Like, they're human too. But we all need to step back. As white people, we all need to step back. We all need to think. We all need to take a knee and show compassion rather than throw tear gas. You can say what you will about these police chiefs and different cities and things like that, and about them taking a knee during the protests or walking with them to stand against racism, with the protesters stand against racism. And you can call that weak. You can say that's a show of, it's not a show of force that we need right now during this. But more and more people were doing it. More and more police officers were doing it. And yeah, there's still a lot of turmoil going on, and there's still a lot of rioting. But DC last night was a place of peace, with the exception of a few events. Until I had to watch video of protesters, peaceful protesters, being cornered and tear gas thrown at them and pepper sprayed, and that they had to retreat into people's houses. And that's what I took from that. That's what I saw. I saw people welcoming up to 100 people into their homes. They're packing their houses and keeping them there through the curfew to see them safe. That's the world I want to live in. Those are the people I want to see on the news. That's the stories I want to hear. I want to hear the people who help, the people who care, the people who take the knee, the people who let protesters who are being attacked into their house. I don't want the photo ops at the churches. I don't want those things. I don't want to see them. If the news hates Trump, I don't care. We need to see the care. We need to see the right parts of humanity. We need to see the ugliness too. Yes, I do agree. We need to know the ugliness. But we need to know the ugliness from the people who are experiencing it. We need to understand them. This isn't the whole episode, and I appreciate you all listening to this. But I just felt I needed to say this. I felt very strongly about it. I don't want to see any police officers die. I don't want to see any protesters die. I don't want to see any looters. I don't want to see any rioters. I don't want to see anybody die. I want everybody to go home safe and sound. But I want black people to feel like they can be safe all the time. I grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey, and I moved to Carteret, New Jersey. A very heavy black population, Hispanic population in both places. I don't have a negative story about black people in all of my experiences. I don't. I thought long and hard today. I thought long and hard. I have negative stories about family members and how they've treated me. I have negative stories about many white people and how I've seen them act and treat people. I don't have a negative story about black people. I've worked with black people. I have hung out with black people. I have friends who are black people. That is not any type of justification for me. That is just saying my experiences aren't that black people are evil, which seems to be a lot of the rhetoric from the people who want to propose the hate and things that are going on. And when I thought about those experiences today, I thought to myself, well, if I don't have any of those experiences with black people, but I have them with white people, why are the black people suffering? Why are they the ones that are looked at as less than, if they're the ones showing them more humanity? And I just, with that, I just want to say thank you for listening. Hopefully now you understand kind of where I'm coming from. I'm wearing this Star Trek shirt because this is a show that always showed that in the future we can be more than. We can be explorers. We're all equal. We are, no matter what species you are on the show, but like black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever you are, we're all equal. We're all human. We should all be fighting for that. We should all be fighting for everybody to be equal and human. I'm sorry if I didn't articulate this well or get my point across. I'm a little nervous. I'm nervous and I'm frustrated. And I felt coming on here and doing a live show, how can I go on and not say anything? And I don't care what repercussions come from it. My message is out there. I am there. I'm trying to be an ally. Donating, signing petitions, and an ally for humanity. And I'm not saying all lives matter, Black lives matter, because right now, in this society, and for a very long time, Black people's lives didn't matter, don't matter. But now it's time for us to fight for them to matter. And I hope that translates well and you guys understand that. Anybody who thinks, well, what do you mean Black lives matter, all lives matter? You don't understand. And you need to. You need to stop getting angry. You need to step back. You need to listen to what's going on. You need to listen to the frustrations, and you need to understand. If you don't want to, then that is on you. But I am not going to stop fighting for this. And I will talk about it, and it will become a thing on my platform. So with that being said, thank you very much for listening to that, and let's join the show. I want to get into the movie news and things like that, and we do have audience topics to talk about. I want to keep things positive. This week's, with everything we've been seeing this week, I chose Air Force One for our group watch this Saturday. It's on Prime. Anybody can join in and watch, and we kind of just, talk throughout the whole thing and just have a good time. It's a very uplifting movie where right wins in the end, and I felt like maybe we needed that. I'm definitely open to discussion with you guys and hearing from you on everything I just said. We also have some more topics up for discussion, which are what movies inspire you. I also would like to know what are some of the best heroic movie characters. Another one that I would like to add on is I want to support the arts of Black people, and I want to, artists. If you're a painter, you're writers, you're filmmakers, you're singers, whatever you are. This is a very art-friendly show, and we try to be a proponent of art. Please, I would love to talk to you. I love talking to everybody, and I want to interview everybody. I want to learn from everything. So reach out to me. I would love to talk to you more. And if you want to post anything on my social media, let me know. I will put it out there. So with that being said, let's get into the show, shall we? So thanks everybody for joining in. Ariel, can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. That's another interview I'm doing. Conversations are absolutely what need to happen now. I do agree. Conversations, but listening. I think more people need to listen. We need to listen to the Black voices speaking because they understand their frustration better than we ever can. I can only equate it to the bullying I went through as a child. And that's frustrating enough for me. And I still have feelings about it. I'm 6'8", 400 pounds. And I still have feelings about it that mess with me. Thank you for speaking from your heart. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate you saying that. Bravo, Mick from Ariel. Thank you so much. Let's enjoy it. Let's have some fun with it. We have some good things going on, and I want to, like I said, I want to talk about the audience topics, and I want to have a good time tonight. So I also want to hear about any movies you guys have seen lately. Lots of stuff coming out. Christy, I have not watched Painter and the Thief yet. And you did a talk about it tonight, and I'm sorry I missed that because I really wanted to join in on it, but it's just been a crazy times lately, and I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. So please let me know what you think about that. Also, keep in mind, tomorrow is our last night for the Movie Monsters bracket. We're going to be live at 8:45 tomorrow with Behind the Box podcast. Join in. We're going to be debating the top 16 Supernatural movie monsters all the way down to the number 1 spot. And then we're going to finish the bracket from there. So make sure you guys join in. Is it good? It was a documentary, right? And I definitely wanted to check that out. So I think it's still available for a little while. And it helps support the Alamo. So keep in mind, anybody who is out there buying tickets to support Alamo Drafthouse, it's pinned on our Facebook page, the rules to the contest. It goes till June 17th. And there will be prizes. Few of you have entered, and you've been sending me your tickets. I'm very excited about that. I was with Christy talking about Painter and the Thief. Loved it. Was it? Okay, cool. I've been hearing great things about it, so I'm excited to hear that. Maybe I'll check it out tonight if I get a chance. I have to do some editing, but I think I can sit down. And documentary sounds good right now. Lynn Francis, Jack Burton, a great hero. Jack Burton is a great hero. Yep, and just $3.99 to rent, and it supports the Alamo, which I love. I love the Alamo, so happy to help out in any way that I can. Yes, Len, I do agree. I love Jack Burton. I'm gonna say I've been watching a lot of things lately, especially with everything going on. And again, like I said, I've always like kind of gravitated towards movies to help me cope or understand or things like that. And one movie I've been watching a lot is To Kill a Mockingbird. And man, I gotta tell you, Atticus Finch might be, in my opinion, the best hero character in movie history. Everything about that movie is truly brilliant and amazing. And he is such a great heroic character. So with that, it doesn't feel like a documentary, so stunningly shot. I've heard that. I have heard that it is shot really well, and the trailer looks awesome. So I can't wait. You guys are getting me pumped for this. And there's so many movies to watch. But I am excited, especially for Air Force One this week. That's one I haven't watched in like 20 years. I can't wait. So Jack Burton I do agree with. What does everybody else have? I want to hear some more. What do we got? So let me pull up some. Atticus Finch is the best male character ever. I can't disagree with that. He is a fantastic character. And he's just been. And you know what? I was watching Clear and Present Danger. So that movie for me, Harrison Ford's Jack Ryan is a great character. He is like the being right, doing the right thing and going about it that way. And it's always been such a huge thing for me with his character. We have, in Clear and Present Danger, that scene when he's talking to the president, and the president's kind of going against him and saying like, oh, you got to do the old Potomac two-step. And he just stares him down and he's like, I don't dance, Mr. President. And it's up there. It's in a good level with like something like an Atticus Finch. Like your morals, your values, your heroic features, they don't bend. They don't bend for anybody. And, even like watching To Kill a Mockingbird sort of inspired me to talk about Black Lives Matter and my feelings on everything tonight, because the scene where he's talking to Scout after she has the fight, he says to her, he's like, if I don't defend this man, I couldn't hold my head up around town. And that always made me think, like, I'm not saying I've never made mistakes or done stupid things or made the wrong choices. I have. But I don't have, I work towards not regretting. And even if everybody else is telling me, no, do this is the easier way, or this is right, this is how we see it. If I don't think it's right, I can't stick with it. I can't do it. I haven't seen the series yet, though. I like the series. My personal favorite hero is from a comic book, Crazy Jane on Doom Patrol. Nice, okay. She's good on the series, too. It's a very good series. I think you'll really enjoy it. So, Ara, yeah, definitely check out the Doom Patrol series. They do a really great job with it. So, Len, I'm surprised all you're mustering up is Jack Burton. Come on, man. You're a movie connoisseur. I need to hear it. Sorry, I might have chased some people away, and I understand that. Not everybody wants to hear, not that not everybody wants to hear it. It's that a lot of people, I'm sure, weren't tuning in to hear that. But it's still important, in my opinion, and I just kind of had to, I had to go with it. My heart told me it was the right thing to do. So, also, Just Mercy, kind of on topic with what we were talking about. Just Mercy is the movie with Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx, where he plays the lawyer and he's defending the wrongly convicted African-American man on death row. It's based on a true story. It's free rentals for the entire month to encourage systemic racism education. So take advantage of it, because there's some amazing actors. Those two, definitely being two of them, and I just, as a movie, I definitely want to check it out. But with everything going on, I think it's important to do that. What else do we have going on? We have the drive-ins are supposedly going to be getting the new was it Kevin James movie where the home invasion movie, Becky. It looks pretty awesome. I know it's right up PC's alley. So anybody who's in PC, I think you guys would really enjoy it. Definitely into checking that out. Rob, what's going on, man? Welcome. Thanks for joining. Everybody else. So give me else. What else do you guys have? What are some movies that inspire you? I definitely want to hear. I want to hear that one. I want to know movies that you watch that they touch you in a way that they touch you and inspire you in a way that you want to, I don't know, do better in the world or whatever else. Like they are that way. I'll tell you one thing, the Superman movie, or Superman the movie from the 70s, is always inspiring to me, especially with that music. It's just, again, it's another one where you talk about like kind of Atticus Finch type, just that heroic values and stands that go along with it. It's amazing. So we got the best horror movies on Netflix right now. List just came out, so let me pull it up. Trying to see. Oh, no, nothing popped up. What are you doing to me? Oh, Sinister's out. Event Horizon, The Ring, Evil Dead, the real Evil Dead too. In the Tall Grass, which sucked. I don't know if anybody saw that. You know, I love Stephen King, but that movie sucked. Insidious, Bird Box, that movie didn't suck, but it was just, it was annoying. All right, I can't just read off lists. All right, here we go, Dave. What we got here? Just finished episode 2 of Nosferatu. How was it? I didn't love the first season. What do you think of this one? House made me want to be a better dad. House. The horror movie House made you want to be a better dad? Oh, there we go. You got another one. William Katt's character never gave up on his son. That was different for me with my home life. You know what? That's a good point. I never thought about it from that perspective. He never could. He could never leave his son. And in the end, thank God too with that movie. He needed to win. He needed that win in the end. Ariel, inspirational movies. Queen of the Catwee. I have never seen that one. Aquila and the Bee, which is a great movie. Future Perfect. My Left Foot. Wow. Have you ever seen In the Name of the Father? It's a movie about Daniel Day-Lewis is in it. He was just a guy in from Northern Ireland. He was living in London, and the London explosions, I think in 76, I want to say. He was wrapped up in it, and he was taken as a political prisoner and terrorist, even though he had nothing to do with it. He wasn't part of the IRA, and so he was locked up, and he was locked up for years, and they kept going after him. They took his dad, and they threw his dad in jail, who had nothing to do with it. And the whole movie is about them like surviving in jail as these political prisoners and trying to get out, not escape, but like, you know, through legal means, trying to get out any way they can. I'm not going to give up too much of the story, but it's a heartbreaking story. It's a beautiful story. Daniel Day-Lewis is amazing in it. The entire cast is just truly beautiful in it. So I should definitely. Oh, you do? Yeah, I've seen it. Okay, good. Yeah, In the Name of the Father is a great movie, though. Christina and I loved In the Tall Grass, Laugh Out Loud. Weird, but loved it. So Cube-like. Oh, man. See, I think it was. The thing I liked about Cube is you never got the answers. They went through and they just had to keep going and keep going and keep going. And ultimately, you know, not to give anything away. But then you get to, like, In the Tall Grass, like, it seems like they were trying to give too much, you know, they were trying to force some characters, and I couldn't get beyond it. Hunger is a good film in a similar period. I'll check that out, if I haven't already. It sounds familiar, though. Unless I'm thinking about the David Bowie movie, The Hunger, I think it's called, which is the vampire movie. We got, all right. Some inspiring movies. So they put out the movie production rules for after the pandemic, and with everything going on, I'm pretty interested to see what they've got planned. So they're going to be doing the limiting face-to-face contact, so you're not going to see a lot of kissing or lovemaking scenes, of course, which is completely understandable in this time. Cast and crew should avoid congregating in groups. Conjugating. Practical separate work locations and into zones to facilitate physical distancing. And I just wonder, when I read these rules, what are we going to get? What kind of movies are going to come up? We have a lot of things coming out. Like, do you see in which way the movies will kind of turn out? Like, it's going to affect the writing, I would assume, correct? What do you guys think? Definitely interested. Directed by Stephen Queen. I'll definitely check that out. Sasha, what species are you? What species you are? Laugh out loud. We're all human. It's a race, but it's not one none of us get out of alive. That's very true. It's a good point. Wise words. Christy, I know it dates me a bit, but I always find Iron Eagle inspiring because it was really made an impact on me when I was young in regards to not giving up on my family. That's a great choice. That is a great choice. Iron Eagles, I love Louis Gossett Jr., first of all. And him in that movie, and Jason Gedrick, I believe was he played the kid in the movie. It really was. He would not give up on his family even when the military did, and his mother even gave up on him to an extent. She was hopeful but heartbroken, but just like she had to be a mom. So for him, the fact that I'm not going to give up on him, and fighting his way through and getting his team together, and they had to do all the planning, and it's a fun action movie, but at the same time, you're right. There's a lot of heart there. I do love that choice. I foresee a lot of Zoom storytelling. Do you? I see that for TV. I see that TV can be more that way, but I think the movies kind of has to step out past that, and I think that's why they've just had everything shut down. They're not going to shoot anything. I would love to see more indie films kind of propelled to the forefront from this, but once studio films come back in, I don't know that it will be Zoom. I think there will be a lot of CGI. I think it will be a lot of green screen, and it's going to be interesting. I can't even imagine. Fun movie I remember growing up that you introduced me to as a feel-good, follow your dreams type movie was Interstate 60. A great movie. I love that movie. And it's James Marsden in a starring role, which, congratulations to him, did great in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And it's got an official sequel coming out. So, great job, James Marsden. You better stay on it. Yeah, he was the star of that, and it starred Gary Oldman. Michael J. Fox was in it. Christopher Lloyd was in it. Kurt Russell was in it. Amy Smart was in it. And it basically followed this kid, college kid, who he had no real direction in life, and he was trying to figure out his way. And it was a chance encounter with Christopher Lloyd's character to send him and say, you need to travel to drop off this package by route of Interstate 60. And along the way, he says, stop, go see things, go do things. He meets Gary Oldman's character along the way, who's kind of a magical character. And it's a really nice movie, and it's a really inspirational movie in a lot of ways. So I definitely think if anybody hasn't seen Interstate 60, go check that out. And it was an indie movie of all things, so support that as well. Good point, Len. I haven't thought about that movie in a long time. Sasha Monroe. Didn't Iron Eagle have a couple of sequels? I enjoyed it better than Top Gun. Yes, it did. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, they had like 5 or 6 sequels, and for the most part, Louis Gossett Jr. was in them. Jason Gedrick was in the second one, and I think he came back in the 4th or the 5th one, and he came back as an instructor. So there was a whole bunch of new kids, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Louis Gossett Jr.'s character either dies or he's out of commission, and Jason Gedrick has to come back and teach the kids. But yeah, no, I think the Iron Eagle series is a great series, and highly underappreciated, in my opinion. Maybe filmmaking will become more of a guerrilla-style undertaking. I think it needs to, Christy. I think that's a great point, and I think it needs to. Like I said, I think we need a more forefront approach of indie filmmaking to come out. My hope is that a lot of writers and filmmakers have been collaborating during this pandemic to create, and then once they're able to get back out and kind of do things, make your movies. I just write good movies, rewrite, do whatever you have to do. Sasha, well, heck, that one new indie horror flick is making the rounds now at a lot of drive-ins. Maybe there will be more indie filmmakers who will strive to get better distribution than going through the studio machine. I hope so. I really do. I think now is the time. We need entertainment, and we can get that, especially through independent filmmaking. We need all genres, not just horror, not just whether it's uplifting or dramatic, or we need everything in between. We need action. We need things like that. Like I interviewed Blaine Weaver a few weeks ago, and he did Cut to the Chase. And man, he came out and it was an indie production, and it was an action movie. It was more of a thriller, but with action in it. And he got Lance Henriksen to be in it with him, and he directed it and he starred in it. And the thing I really liked about it is it reminded me of those 80s thriller movies. And I think I've talked about that on a show before, but I wanted to bring that up again. It shows a lot what you can do with indie filmmaking. So, Rob, Green Legend Ran was the first movie to make me cry. It inspired me to start drawing. I've never seen it. I've actually never heard of it. So I'm anxious to hear more about it. Commando, never give up on your family. Do whatever it takes against the odds to save your child. That's for sure, especially in that movie. But we don't all have the training he did in that movie or look like Arnold. But so I would take it one step further and say, yeah, but that means the training thing still works. It's maybe like Taken. But I definitely am with you there on Commando. I love that movie. Len, I'll take Commando and Raise You. Give Me Back My Son. Mel Gibson. Ransom! Great movie. You guys are really into this inspired thing of saving your children. Now, I'm all for saving our children. Why are we saving them? Are they okay? Is everything all right? What's that, an anime? Which one, Ransom or Green Legend Ran? I probably is. I've never heard of it, and I'm not It was an anime. You were very correct, Sasha. Okay, cool. All right, so it is an anime. I tend not to sit down and watch anime, not because it's not that I dislike it. It's just that I never got into it. There are some things, don't get me wrong, but I am open-minded though, and I will check things out. My 40-plus mind is not fading. Woo, that's fair. I mean, mine is definitely. So getting into these are some really good inspirational, and it's really fun to see what's the inspiring part of these movies for you. I definitely like the aspect of family and things like that, like you said. Especially since I've become a dad. Yeah, it is all about that. It is all about protecting my sons, my stepson and my son, and making sure that not just am I out there protecting them physically from danger, because we can't always be there, but I'm also teaching them, and hopefully I'm teaching them the right way. I definitely try to, and be a good role model. Like I said, I haven't always been perfect. I haven't always been thinking, trust me, there's plenty of times I didn't think. But I've made my mistakes and things like that, but you learn from them, and you experience, and that's just how you become a better person, in my opinion, or a worse person. Hopefully better in mine. Open-minded enough with anime to get you with that blonde chick back in college. All right, I guess I gotta tell a story here, because now I'm reading it, and Green Legend ran. Okay, so that is the movie. I will check that out, Rob and Sasha. So I know nothing about anime. Never really watched it. It was never really something that came up growing up. Len and I have known each other since high school. He's always been into anime. He's always talked about it. There was one night we were in college. Well, he was in college. I was college age. Yes, and Rob, I know you know this story, but not everybody knows the story. It's a funny story. So one night he and I are hanging out. I think at the time he was staying with me because I lived closer to his college. So Len was just babbling on. For all night, we were just hanging out watching movies, and he was babbling on about anime. Just kept going with it. And I was just kind of like, okay, cool. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you liked it. But for me, I was just like, whatever. Like, I was half paying attention. And then the next night, we went to a bar with another friend of ours. And, we were young guys. We would go out and meet girls, things like that. And that's kind of where we were at. And I was, if you could believe it, at one time or another, I was a good-looking guy, thin, beanpole-looking guy, in pretty good shape. Actually, I put, if you're friends with me, I just posted a video where I actually looked like that when I was 19. That was about the time this happened. So we're out, we're at the bars, and a beautiful young woman walked up and started talking to me. And Len was standing next to me. And she had mentioned she loved anime. So I was like, okay. And I just recited everything Len had told me from the night before to her. I knew nothing about it. I still know really nothing about what he said that night. But I just recited everything he said, and I got the girl in the end. So that we'll just say that. So I need to do a podcast with Mick's story. Len, I agree. We do need to do a podcast of our stories together, which 25 years of just fun stories. Wait, no anime, so you don't have watch Akira? No. Akira is too famous not to watch, and I have seen it, but I've been, I think I was young. I was in my early 20s when I watched Akira, and I was very drunk, and I don't remember it. Had to rewatch it for the movie monster brackets that we were doing, but so Akira is too famous not to watch. There are some anime, Spirited Away I've seen. There's a lot of them that I do see, and a lot of them more current than anything. I did just watch Demon City Shinjuku. By the way, last weekend was the 20th anniversary of Your Shoes versus the Atlantic Ocean. Len, stop saying things, then I have to tell stories, and I don't want to tell stories that make me look stupid. This definitely is ending a lot different than it started. So, alright. I can't do a podcast and not tell stories when they're brought up, and I've talked to them. Listen, Yuri on Ice is terrific. I will check it out, Christy. Thank you. I think I got my start with anime with Aku versus Biko. I'll check them out. Anyway, so 20 years ago, I guess, from what Len is saying, we were at our prom weekend. Still worst prom. I had a terrible prom. It was a terrible prom night. I'm not getting into that story. And the prom weekend stunk, and then the week after stunk, except for our trip to Universal Studios, which was awesome. So we go to prom weekend. We're down the Jersey Shore at a beach house that was like on a lagoon and such, and we're hanging out. Well, the last night we were there, we all went to the beach together. Everybody paired off with their girlfriends. It was just Len and I at that point. God knows my prom date could give a flying crap about what I was doing. But that's a long story short. So Len and I just start walking. We're like, all right, we'll go around the beach, see if there's any girls around or anything. We get all these sand in our sandals. Now, Len, if I remember correctly, it was, my idea was, well, the showers are all closed, so we can't get to them to wash our sandals and feet off. So what we should do is, we'll throw our sandals onto the water, and then we'll jump on them real fast, and then it will wash us off, and then wash everything off, and that was my brilliant idea. Without thinking about it, we threw our sandals down onto the water, and they started to float away. So it was kind of a race to get our sandals back, and it may had to be a story that you were there for funny, for it to be funny, but that's what it was. It's about figure skating. Well, I like Cutting Edge. Don't tell my wife because she'll make me watch it, but I do like Cutting Edge. So I'm all for ice skating movies and Blaze of Glory. Project A. I don't know what you're talking about. Such a funny movie that is definitely about dysfunctional relationships. Biko was the lady from Misery. There's so much going on, and Shutter for Seiko. What is going on? What is Aco, Biko, Seiko? I'm so confused. Krista Yuri on Ice isn't bad. That's a good recommendation. Len, I didn't. Yes, you did, Len. Don't you lie. Do not lie. You absolutely did the same thing, and your sandals went as well. I don't want to hear it. What do we got? Well, this one had more of the futuristic vibe and not the schoolgirl version. I tried to find it again and ran across the schoolgirl one. I have no idea what's going on with the anime thing. I have no idea. So I just trust all of your recommendations to check them out. That's as far as I can go there. So, yeah, that's some stories to have been told. I started out trying to be supportive, and I'm kind of ending on a note where I look like an idiot. Because I am an idiot, and I have been many times. So, with that being said, we didn't get into much movie news. I thank a lot of you for chiming in on your inspirational movies and things like that. And even new movies that were not a part of the topics that I'm definitely going to read this through and check them all out. Because they sound awesome. With that being said, a few things going on. Please feel free to jump in. We have tomorrow night at 8:45 we're starting. There will be Lori, Rob, and Len and I. We are doing Behind the Box. We're doing our last night of the movie Monster Brackets. And then things are going to kind of change up. We're live tomorrow. The next week, the show premieres at 7:30 p.m. It will not be a live show, though. But there's going to be new things that I will talk about tomorrow on the show for audience participation and things like that. We still very much want you guys to be a part of the show. With that being, we have Rob paints the movies on Thursday. I got to pick the movie. I won, and that's the movie I got to pick. I got to pick the painting that he's going to do. I'm very excited about it. He is not, because he does not like the movie. I can't wait to see what it looks like. With that being said, oops, sorry, spiders above my head. So, with that being said, make sure you guys check that out. That's 7:30 here on Scene Snobs page. Whereas Behind the Box tomorrow at 8:45 is on the Behind the Box Facebook page and the Scene Snobs YouTube channel. So, Friday night, we're still doing Joe Bob, but we're going to do another test run of our Scene Snobs Showcase. In a few weeks after Joe Bob ends, we are going to do the Scene Snobs Showcase. That means I'm going to want guests on. I'm going to want artistic people. I want fun people. I want to talk to you. I want to know what you guys are doing. This is, think like the Graham Norton show, where we just get to hang out and have a good time. That's going to be 9:30 on Friday night, and that's going to be a live show. I want to talk to people about serious issues, fun issues, all types of in between. I want to learn and just have a good time. So make sure if you guys are interested in doing that. Now, I know a few of you watching know about this, but I'm going to start doing a show that's going to do radio shows from back in like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. I'm going through scripts now. I've gotten a lot of you down for it that were interested in being voices and doing characters. If you are, message the Scene Snobs channel or Mick Manhattan, and I will put you down. I want this to be fun, and we're going to do a podcast. I'm thinking if not twice a month, maybe once a month, and then we'll just kind of keep going. We'll follow a storyline, and then when that storyline's over, we'll go to a new thing. Saturday night, remember, is Air Force One, the viewing. So here's how it works. 7:30 p.m. I'm here on the Facebook channel and the Scene Snobs YouTube channel, introing the movie. During the movie, on the Scene Snobs Facebook page, there will be a movie poster. That is our comment thread throughout the movie. Join in. It's always a good time. Right after the movie's over, about 5 minutes or so, I'm back live. I'm going to put a Zoom link in the comments. Whoever wants to join in, join in. We're going to make this fun. I'm going to be doing trivia, where I pick out 15 to 20 questions. We're going to do rounds. We're going to have fun talking about the movie and things like that. But I'm opening it up to people who want to join in and have a good time with it. So, with that being said, that's this week. We have other shows coming up. A lot of good things. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you listening to what I talked about in the beginning about the Black Lives Matter movement. And, I feel blessed that all of you tuned in and listened to me. I have also 2 interviews this week. They're going up with the Scene Snobs Podcast, and I cannot wait for you to hear them. I'm recording one tomorrow, and then I will put out all the dates and stuff of when everything comes out. So make sure you check those out too. Okay. Rob says, I'm joking, everyone. Rob hates a lot of movies that Mike likes. Rob hates good movies. That's what it is. I'm sorry if I didn't read that off. So Rob says, Mick hates me and is making me do it against my will. That's right. You are going to paint this movie that I know that you hate, but everybody else loves. Spoiler alert, everyone. It's The Fog. Oh, why'd you give it away? Len, do not give I'm being serious here. Do not give away the movies, because that gives people a fair guess. So now I'm going to change the movie. I'm under duress, guys. Thursday will be an emotional roller coaster. Len, people are supposed to guess. Haha, get a great canvas. Well, Rob, I will give you a new movie character, and we'll do that. So we're going to go from there, because I want people to have the fun of guessing. So then that way they can see their painting the next week. So that's how the show works. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining in, and take care. This has been the Scene Snobs Podcast Live every Tuesday night at 9:30. Thanks again, and have a good night. Bye.